Christian Horner's final reply to Jos Verstappen. Things have become really interesting at Red Bull's garage, as now both of the drivers are in the championship mix. Prior to the season, nobody believed that Red Bull's second driver, Sergio Perez, would have the pace and time to compete with Max. However, one DNF for Max in Australia and the dominant performance of Checo in Monaco saw him at just 15 points behind his teammate, who leads the championship ladder. One could say that this is just a series of lucky events for the Mexican, but even Max's father had an opinion regarding the Monaco GP. He expressed his thoughts loud and clear and was very unhappy that the team's tactic revolved around Perez and not the championship leader. Christian Horner then had to get involved with a public announcement. So, what did Horner say to the older Verstappen regarding both Red Bull drivers? As there are any chance that Jos will try to talk Verstappen out of the team and convince him to sign with the team that will utilize him and only him. At last, what was Max Verstappen's opinion regarding Monaco GP? All of these and many more will be explained in this video, so stick around until the very end to find the answers that you're looking for. In order for you to understand why this conflict is happening at all, you need to understand the outcome of Monaco GP. Perez has absolutely been dominant over Verstappen throughout the whole weekend. The Mexican has been able to drive faster in all three practice sessions and in qualifying, where he finished P13 behind the Ferraris. The race was a bit complex because it's full of narrow and low-speed corners, meaning that overtaking is very hard. Yet, Red Bulls have managed to go to P1 and P3 from the initial P3 and P4 on the grid, and without any overtakes on the track. So, how did they do it? It's hard to say that Red Bull is the only one responsible for this because Ferrari has messed up their own strategy in the first place. Red Bull was just quick enough to react to a missed call by Ferrari. After they pitted Leclerc for intermediates, they misjudged the speed of Perez on the new set of intermediates. He pitted before Leclerc and managed to cut 5 to 6 seconds on his outlap. This has caused Leclerc to lose the position to Perez and to Sainz, who chose to stay and go from full wet tires to hard ones. The track was drying fast, and Sainz's tactic has proven to be a better one. Things couldn't have gone worse for him too if he chose to listen to the team, something that Leclerc did without hesitation. When the track started to dry fully, Ferrari misjudged the difference between Sainz and Leclerc as they called both of them in the pits. The double stack failed for Ferrari because Leclerc had to wait 2 to 3 seconds for Sainz to change his tires, a crucial time for Verstappen to cut the difference between him and the Monegasque. After this, Red Bull decided to double stack too, but their pit stop went smoother and they still managed to go on P1 and P3 as they were divided by Sainz. If it wasn't for Albon and the unintentional blockage he did to Sainz, the Spaniard would have secured first place in the race. However, it is what it is, and Ferrari has managed to blow up their own strategy and lose a significant amount of points. So, back to Red Bull. Pretty awesome situation, right? Both of your drivers have been just able to climb positions without fighting on the track just by pitting in for new tires. Well, according to Jos Verstappen, the team has prioritized Perez as the race leader and not Verstappen as the championship leader. He had some interesting words to say regarding the outcome of the race for his son. Max was not helped by the chosen strategy. It turned completely in Checo's favor. That was disappointing to me, and I would have liked it to be different for the championship leader. Perez actually won the race because of the earlier pit stop. The team can perhaps explain that as a gamble, but they had already seen, with for example Gasly, that the intermediates were the best option at that time, Jos added. I think 10 points for Max have been thrown away here, especially with the 2 retirements we've had. We need every point. Don't forget that Ferrari currently has a better car, especially in qualifying. While Max continues to lead the F1 championship, he will hope that he can bounce back with a win in the next race in Baku. Finished Jos in an interview right after the race. Even Red Bull fans couldn't believe what he had to say about the race outcome. If anyone decides to go after Checo and say that the team is prioritizing him instead of Max, then that individual surely has little to no knowledge of F1 at all. You don't have to go very far way back to see the favored moves that Red Bull did towards Max. When Max spun out and got behind Perez at the Spanish GP, Perez was told to move out of the way so Max could fight Russell. Checo entered the pits for new tires, and due to Max having issues with his DRS, he was able to pass George. Perez got close to both of them, and when he asked his engineer to get me Max out of the way so I can pass easily, the brief response was, "We're on a different strategy, stay out of this." But there's more. Max has entered the pit lane for new tires and has been able to catch Russell very quickly, as the Brit failed to respond to the undercut attempt. Now Perez was at P1 and Max at P2. True, he had a better pace and fresher tires, but the team still decided to give Perez the command of "let Max go." For the first time ever, we've seen Checo not completely agreeing with the tactic, saying that's not fair, but okay. Even when the race ended, he said, "I'm happy for the team, but we need to talk later." At the race, Checo pitted at the final stages of the race so he could have the fastest lap, getting an additional point to his name. But we all know that Perez isn't a player that could be satisfied with the fastest lap, which was proven in Monaco. So, how did Christian Horner respond to Jos? Many of the media have talked about the situation of Red Bull having sweet headaches because of Perez, as the Mexican seems very eager to prove himself that he's still worthy of a championship drive. Therefore, Horner's response was simple and smooth, not starting any drama whatsoever and implying that Red Bull has never been a one-man show. We're not talking about Sergio Perez racing or Max Verstappen racing here. It's about Red Bull racing. The drivers work for the team and bear this responsibility. It's important that they realize that the ambitions of the team are greater than their own, said Horner. At the end of the day, Checo and Max are team players. They're a part of a team. They drive a car that's designed by about 800 employees here and produced for them. It doesn't matter which one of them is the world champion, whether it's Checo Perez or Max Verstappen, they're both Red Bull drivers, finished Horner. Jos Verstappen's comments are going down as one of the most disrespectful ones towards the team that earned his son his first championship. Apart from that, he decided to take a shot at the best teammate that Verstappen has ever had. Just remember what Checo did last year at the last race, defending Hamilton on much older tires and cutting around 8 seconds of time, to which Max replied, "Checo's a legend." When Max and Checo were asked at the press conference after the race about their potential relationship status regarding Checo's becoming his rival, he said that nothing would change between them. Checo asked jokingly, "We're still going to be in love, right?" To which Verstappen agreed with a smile. Also, both of them were seen hugging and smiling, celebrating the fantastic finish in Monaco. So, whatever the media, or Jos Verstappen, is trying to stir from non-existent content, it's surely failing. Christian Horner has said it out loud and clear that both of the drivers will have an equal and legitimate shot at the title. Also, both Checo and Max are in an amazing relationship, and that has been proven in the past with multiple interviews with both the drivers. Therefore, it's safe to say that we're in for a good season, and it's the first one after a long time that the three drivers are in the direct mix for the championship title. Also, it's very unlikely that Verstappen will leave the team under the influence of his father because they're currently at the top of their game. No other team could offer Verstappen what Red Bull offers him now, and he knows that perfectly. Plus, this is a huge test for him, as he never had to compete with a teammate ever since Daniel Ricciardo left the team in 2018. Although Perez didn't show initial signs of competing with Verstappen, now it seems like both of them will be fighting closely for the prestige title. Do you think there's a chance that Perez will directly threaten Max for the title, or all of these talks are going to splash down with Max setting a commanding tempo for the rest of the season? Let us know in the comment section down below. Until then, take care and drive safely.